unsolved child murder in the United Kingdom. 20 years after the torso of a young boy was found in the River Thames, detectives are calling on the public to come forward with any information that may help them solve his murder. Investigating officers believe that over the past 2 decades, relationships and allegiances may have changed and are specifically reaching out to people whose connection or association with someone has now ended. Officers urge those who may have felt uncomfortable speaking to the police in the past to be bold and come forward. On Friday, 21st September 2001 at 4 p.m., a young boy's torso was found in the River Thames near Tower Bridge by a member of the public. Police were called and a Marine support unit recovered his body. He was named Adam by police officers. His identity is still unknown. Forensics revealed that the little boy would have been 5 or 6 years old and was from Nigeria. It is believed he was trafficked into the UK, possibly via Germany. His head and limbs had been severed from his body, which was clothed in a pair of orange shorts. The cause of death was declared as a violent trauma to the neck area. It is believed his death may have been a ritualistic killing. Over the past 2 decades, officers have regularly reviewed the case. This has included conducting local and international inquiries, and police continue to explore forensic opportunities in light of technologies that are now available. The inquiry has also included comprehensive checks on all UK missing people and extensive inquiries in London, other parts of the UK, and abroad, including South Africa, Holland, Germany, and Nigeria. Despite these efforts and numerous high-profile appeals over the years, including an appeal by Nelson Mandela to all the African communities across the world to help police, the case remains unsolved. Detectives are continuing in their efforts to identify those responsible for this murder of a young child and ask anyone with information that could assist them to come forward. Detective Chief Inspector Kate Kieran, a homicide detective from the Met's Specialist Crime Command, said, "It is incredibly sad and frustrating that Adam's murder remains unsolved. The Homicide Command have been working tirelessly over the years to find out who is responsible. We recognize people may not have wanted to speak up at the time and may have felt loyal to the person or people involved in this. However, over the past 20 years, allegiances and relationships may have changed, and some people may now feel more comfortable talking to us. We implore them be bold and come forward if they know something so that we can finally deliver justice once and for all. No matter how old or small that information may seem, it really can make all the difference. This young boy has not and will not be forgotten. He deserved better, and we will not give up on him." A woman was previously arrested on suspicion of murder. She was later bailed and released with no further action. A man was previously arrested and interviewed in connection with the possible trafficking of Adam into the UK. He was later bailed and released with no further action. Another man was also arrested and interviewed on suspicion of alleged trafficking offenses. He was later bailed and released with no further action. The discovery of the murder was made on September 21st, 2001. Aidan Minter was walking across Tower Bridge in central London heading for a business meeting. It was just 10 days after the 9/11 attacks in the US, and the city was still strangely quiet. "The tide was quite high at the time. I thought it was a tailor's mannequin," Aidan recalls. He rarely speaks about the case. "Then it came under the bridge, and that's when I saw the detail, the wounds and the body itself." Police pulled the body from the water and close to the Globe Theatre. "It's a memory Aidan lives with to this day. I do think about him. I'll never forget it for as long as I live." The detective said that the boy, who was black, may have been in the water for up to 10 days. He had died from having his throat slit. His arms, legs, and head had all been expertly amputated. They have never been found. There were no signs of physical or sexual abuse, and he had been well fed. On the body, there was nothing but a pair of orange shorts, something which later gave officers their first breakthrough in the case. The label was Kids and Company, and the size and color could only be found in a small number of shops in Germany. Nick Chalmers, detective sergeant, said the case was the strangest and most complex of his career. Tests showed that Adam had been aged between 4 and 7 years old and had lived in Africa until shortly before his death. Traces of cough syrup were also found in his stomach. If he had been unwell, Had those who killed him been concerned enough to give him medicine? Or did they use it to make him drowsy before the murder? Experts agreed that, because Adam's body had been expertly butchered, it had been a ritualistic murder. Some thought it had been one of the rare so-called muti killings found in southern Africa, when a victim's body parts are removed and used by witch doctors as medicine for a client who wants, for example, to win a business deal or secure good luck. Other experts believed it was more likely a human sacrifice with its origins in a twisted version of Yoruban belief systems from Nigeria. In July 2002, social workers in Glasgow became worried about the safety of two girls. They were living with their mother, an African woman in her early 30s. Council workers found bizarre, ritualistic objects in her home. At a court hearing to take the children into care, the woman, Joyce Osagid, told a story of cults, killings, and of sacrifices. An observant police officer thought it odd enough to warrant a call to the homicide unit in London. DS Nick Chalmers searched Joyce's home and found clothes with the same Kids and Company label and in the same sizes as Adam's orange shorts. Joyce was arrested. Officers were convinced she was an important part of the story, but she was confused and kept changing her account. She said she knew nothing about Adam, but was unable to explain the extraordinary coincidence about the clothes. Officers weren't able to charge Joyce. She remained in Glasgow waiting for the results of her asylum claim. Forensic work continued, and by December it was clear Adam's DNA pointed to West African ancestry. Groundbreaking tests on samples of bone narrowed down Adam's birthplace to a strip of land around Benin City in southern Nigeria, Joyce Osagid's home city. November 2002, German connection. Joyce Osagid, the woman who had been arrested in Glasgow but not charged, was deported after the Home Office rejected her asylum application. Nick Chalmers and his boss Detective Inspector Will O'Reilly traveled with her to Nigeria on a specially chartered private jet. It was hoped she might open up on the flight and reveal crucial information about the murder. But she didn't. The detectives didn't get off the plane when they landed in Lagos and flew straight home. Joyce then disappeared. Shortly afterwards, German police revealed that Joyce had lived in Hamburg until late 2001, the city where the orange shorts found on Adam's body were bought. More arrests. In London in late 2002, there was what seemed like a major breakthrough. When police arrested Ms. Osagid, they found that she only had two contacts in her phone. One was for a man called Moussa Kamara. He was traced to a house in London. There, officers found an animal's skull pierced with a nail, liquid potions, and small packets containing what appeared to be sand or earth. There was also a videotape labeled Rituals, a drama in which an adult was beheaded. The items seemed to be associated with Nigerian rituals, known as juju. Detectives also worked out that Moussa Kamara's real name was actually Kingsley Ojo. With nothing to link him directly to Adam's murder, he was released on bail. But there was clear evidence Ojo was involved in human trafficking, and so he was put under surveillance. Within hours of being released, he was back talking to his criminal associates organizing the illegal entry of Nigerians to the UK. He was considered to be a major player in a gang smuggling people into the country. From his prison cell, Ojo contacted the team investigating Adam's death. He said he had secret recordings of Joyce Osagid recorded in Nigeria by his associates. He claimed he wanted to help track down the killer and clear his own name. Officers interviewed him at the end of his sentence, while he was waiting to be deported. He convinced the murder team he could help, and by late 2005 was released and living back in East London, apparently assisting the inquiry. For more than 2 years, he fed the police information, at one point claiming that Ms. Osagid was on her way back to the UK. This proved not to be true. He also accused a different woman of leading the sacrificial ceremony back in September 2001. Police placed an undercover officer in her church for months, but detectives would conclude that there was no basis for the claims. Raya Matz, a social worker assessing benefit claims, met Joyce and her two girls on several occasions when they were in Hamburg. She also remembers seeing Joyce twice with a small boy in the summer of 2000, and one who she now realizes may well have been Adam, which would make her one of the last people to see him alive. I think about the case regularly, she says. For me, he was a very shy, albeit inattentive, child. He was completely introverted and withdrawn. He remained in one spot and didn't move. Joyce treated the boy as if he was a necessary evil to her, says Raya. It was like she had to drag him along with her because maybe she didn't want to let him out of her eyesight, or like she took him along so he wouldn't have to be on his own.
My name's Nick Chalmers. I was one of the detectives on the Adam case. 20 years on, I wish that we knew the identity of Adam, his parents. He is in reality a missing child from a family who probably don't know that he's here. Probably the closest thing that he had to a family were the people who knew him because of the investigation, and we were the ones who were here for the funeral. You definitely have a tie to a case, and there's this drive to find answers. And the one thing that has lingered over 20 years is the frustration that we didn't find all the...
Thanks for watching. Subscribe. We publish a video every single day, so there is a lot of new content for you. Don't forget to like and share this video to grow this channel. Leave a comment and see you next time.